All right, I'm going to share my screen. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us during the very busy holiday season, taking valuable time out of your schedule and your family to learn something new, and hopefully, you're going to walk away with more value than what you came in with. So, with that, I'm going to share a couple of slides to set the expectation. Attila, just confirm that you can see my screen.
Yeah, all good. Just make it
All
a
right.
little bigger. Yep.
Yep. There you go. All right. So,
There you go.
expectations for tonight. Best word I can use to describe what you're going to see is transformation. You're literally going to see something that affects one of the more important things in your life, other than oxygen, money. It's always nice to have more money at the end of the month than month at the end of the money. Specifically tonight, you're going to see a product that is defies explanation. It is the world's first automated crypto trading and money management platform. Literally, it doesn't exist anywhere else. Created by a gentleman, Mr. Ed Barsano, that's going to be joining us in a few minutes. And he started off in 2001 writing the platform, the original platform for the stock market. And he was the first one to conquer the stock market, all the way to the point where he started to draw quite a bit of attention from TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, and literally dozens of other stock trading platforms that contacted him out of the blue and said, "Can you connect your trader to our platforms so our clients can benefit from it as well?" So the only secret is that Mr. Barsano and his company are self-admittedly not marketers. So it was all by word of mouth, and it was I won't steal Mr. Hevesy's thunder. He'll be telling a little bit of story and background, but it is only recently that, and through the relationship with Attila, myself, and Ed Barsano and his team, that we have the distinct privilege to bring this to the marketplace so that we can start telling people. Now, why is it so important now? Well, unless you're living under a rock, looking at what's happening in the news, and when you hear about the high debt, high inflation, people having a tough time more than pretty much any other time, and I wouldn't say in history, but things are getting tight. The value of the U.S. dollar continues to decline, which means your purchasing power continues to decline, and the signs of a failing fiat traditional finance system. So we're at a point now where as we begin the shift, and we are in the dinosaur age, not quite there yet, but very quickly, sentiment is moving away from traditional finance to decentralized finance. That's why the timing for this is so incredibly important. So we hope you appreciate and take away value out of this presentation, and come away with more questions than answers. And we're here to support you as a team. Oh, Mr. Barsano, welcome.
Hey, I made
There,
it.
yes, there's Merry Christmas and Happy Pre-New Year. We had
Do
a
you guys not appreciate holidays or what?
Oh, we do, but it's about I think it's about consistency, and we just got finished bragging. I just got finished bragging all about you and what you've accomplished, and given some teasers as to what people can expect. And there's one visitor tonight that said he can't wait to learn or to find out what he can learn from Ed. That'd be you. So with that, I'll finish the expectations. You're gonna see a pretty deep dive into the platform known as GoBabyTrade. Again, it's the only automated crypto and stock trader, two separate licenses, and money management system that's available in the marketplace. And we're happy to show it to you. It's a system that trades 24/7, 365. It has purposely been programmed to never sell at a loss. It collects inventory on small dips as the market dips, and there's no other asset class on planet Earth that's more volatile than crypto. So it literally if you think you can outthink 3 million lines of code, be my guest, but it's probably not going to be a successful journey for you. Why would you when this gentleman that is before us today, and thank you so much for your valuable time, Mr. Barsano, has put in 50 years, has actually now 51 years of programming experience, and he'll share a little bit of his background, and so will Attila, and 25 years of operating programming step by step, bit by bit, stock trader platform, and a crypto trader platform that is completely 100% automated. We're also going to show you something that I have coined as the $1 billion report. It's actually a trade count report that identifies optimal trading opportunities within the crypto market. We're going to show you a live demonstration. I may show you my system, as well as Mr. Barsano will show you his system and walk through features and functions. But we're not really here focused on feature and function. The feature and function is that there's 25 years of successful trading history, never selling a loss, and it buys your time back, right? Top line. What if we showed you a way where you could buy your time back and improve your financial situation all at the same time? And then you're gonna walk away at the bare minimum, understanding what this is as a set it and forget it trading system. Once it's set up, it's highly secure. You control your money. You control your destiny. The trading platform only has the authority to send buy and sell orders. Nothing else. Doesn't have access to your money. Only you do on one of two different platforms, Coinbase or Kraken. So shield your retina, because I'm going to go to the next screen and then we'll get busy. All right. So I told you, sorry.
Well, that's a lot of red.
If you got to blink a few times, and it's just to call your attention. I'll summarize it. I'm not going to read it word for word. You're here for educational and informational purposes. What we have is like nothing else, as I've said a couple of times already, that's not available anywhere else on the planet. This type of a system does not exist except for this one and only instance. You're here at your own risk. We're not legal advisors, tax advisors, financial advisors. We're here providing information and education from a perspective of everybody on the planet at least needs to know about this platform because it simply just works. So with that, thank you for your time and toleration for the setup. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to turn it over to my good friend and business partner, Mr. Attila Hevesy. And then Ed gets to look important for a few more minutes, and we're going to give you a little bit of background and then introduce Mr. Barsano.
You forgot to tell him we give financial advice too.
No, we give
no guarantees.
You give marital advice with no guarantees. He who has been married for 45 years happily to his beautiful wife.
Thanks, Edward.
And she just brought me this cup of coffee.
Oh, nice. That's
did she even bother to put cream and sugar in it? No.
Is that smart coffee?
No, it's just cream and just black coffee.
As I said, 45 years of marital bliss with black coffee.
Anyway, thanks for the intro. Good job. Folks, you should tap yourself or smack yourself on the back and congratulate yourself for being here. Because really, in this digital money revolution space, you can't live, I say this all the time, but you really truly can't live 10 lifetimes and have this kind of financial opportunity. And then within that space, we have something as brilliant as what we're going to explain tonight with this set it and forget it. Literally, you don't have to touch it. Once you buy the software, you're done. All you do is you look and see how much money it's making for you every couple of days, every couple of hours, whatever you want. But anyway, I want to explain how I met Mr. Barsano, and as a result, you're all here tonight. So Mr. Barsano got out of the Navy, ended up with a job at Microsoft. He was one of the first 350 programmers hired there in 1985, 86, roughly. And he did a tremendous job there. He was a top engineer for like 9 years, retired a young guy, less than 40 years of age. He was bored to death. He got into the stock market and Fortunately for all of us and fortunately for the world, he got his butt kicked a little bit in the stock market. He lost a lot of money. And he said, you know what? This is a rigged game. I'm gonna show them a thing or two. I'm gonna level the playing field and make sure everybody out there, the average Tom, Dick, and Harry, Sally, Susie, has an even shot, a good shot without gambling of making money in the stock market. And I'm going to automate it. So he automated the stock market, not for the uber wealthy, not for the uber rich, but for the ordinary folks out there. And he introduced this in 2000. He started programming it in 2000. I think he rolled it out in mid to late 2001. But listen to how this thing worked. So you turn this thing on, and once somebody buys the software, back then, it was cumbersome because it took 60 to 90 minutes to download the software. But once it was downloaded, every morning when the stock market opened at 9:30, this thing turned itself on. It traded for you all day in the stock market, making money, buying more when the price went low. And at 4 o'clock when the market closed, boom, shut itself down. 100% unattended, meaning, again, you didn't have to interact with it at all once you did that initial setup. So I was introduced to Ed in 2012 by a mutual friend. I ended up buying the software. I was so impressed. I used it very successfully. It blew me away. I even helped Ed Barsano market it through a marketing company back then for 2 years. And we sold $16 million worth of licenses in 2 years. That's a big number. That's a lot of business. Now, he decided somewhere around 2014, 15 to go back to being solo. And in 2018-ish, he ended up selling out to a hedge fund that had previously bought a lot of licenses from him. Now, this is where the story gets interesting because in, when was that? March of 2024. So this coming March will be 2 years. I was sitting at my desk. I was frustrated because I'm a cash flow guy. And I had lost quite a bit of money in 5 different blockchain crypto projects. I'm in this full time since 2020, September of 2020. I'm full time blockchain, decentralized finance, crypto, etc. But I knew I was going to lose some money along the way because I was a guinea pig. But I didn't think I would lose that much. Now, obviously, I made a lot more than I lost, but it was a very, very valuable lesson. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. But I said, you know what? My parents always said cash is king. That's out the window. It's changed to cash flow is king. And this trader kicks out cash flow. So I'm sitting there going, you know what? This is March 2024. I want to just earn more crypto on the crypto I already hold safely, securely. And it took me a full day, but finally Ed Barsano's name popped in my head and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about my friend Ed. So I tracked him down. I still had his phone number in my iPhone. We spoke for 3 hours. He confirmed my hunch that he did launch a cryptocurrency version in April of 2021, because I had a hunch he did that. And I said, Ed, that's great news. And he said, yeah, this is light years ahead of the stock trader. And I said, how come? And he gave me 4 very compelling reasons why. Number one, he said, you need a lot of volatility, up and down action in any market that you trade, any industry you're trading, to make good money. And I said, I agree. And he said something I also agreed with. He said, there's no asset class on earth that has more volatility than crypto. And I said, agreed. He also said the stock market's trading 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Guess what? Crypto is 24/7, 365. That's a big advantage. And I agreed again. But number 3 and number 4 is what really got me. He said, Attila, I made this new version web-based. It's not downloadable software anymore. And I really didn't know what that meant. So I said, what do you mean? He said, well, when you buy the license again, I'll have you trading live connected to your Coinbase in 10 minutes or less. I said, get out of here. That's great. Let's do it. I bought the license on the spot. It was actually March 26th or 27th of 2024. And in 8.5 minutes, I was connected live to my Coinbase. And that really blew me away because I remember the old days. In 2012, it wasn't anything like that. It took 60 to 90 minutes to set that thing up. So I said, this is good. But number 4 should be the most important to all of you listening tonight. And it was also most important to me. And that's the safety and the security of your funds. Remember a few minutes ago, I told everyone how I had lost a bunch of money in 5 different cash flow crypto deals over the last 4.5, 5 years? Well, guess what? Ed Barsano created a API connection to your own Coinbase or Kraken account so that you and only you control your money at all times. Nobody could touch your money. And that said to me something really, really strong that we're in the right, because the reason I lost all that money in those 5 deals, I didn't control my crypto. I had to send it to a third-party wallet or exchange. So when things went south, I couldn't get to my money. Here, you're safe and sound. You control your money at all times. Ed Barsano cannot and does not touch your money. He just has the trader. It's a software. It sends the trading signals, buy and sell, over to your exchange. So I thought that was brilliant. I said, Ed, we got to get this out to the world. We got to help spread the message. He agreed. Now, before I turn it back to Edward again for 1 minute or 2 minutes, I want to say 2 things. Keep these 2 things at the forefront of your mind. Number 1, when we say set it and forget it, here's what we mean. Once you buy the software and you make that decision to earn cash flow in your sleep, we really mean it that it's hands off and you don't have to really participate in anything. You don't need to look at your trader. If you want to look at it every day and see how much money it made you, that's a different thing. But as far as it being hands off and 100% unattended, we mean that. You don't have to take any buying or selling signals from somewhere and put them into your computer. No, it's set it and forget it. And that's a beautiful thing. So you could make money in your sleep. Now, the second thing we'd like you to keep at the forefront of your mind is this. Please understand what Mr. Barsano has brought forth to the world. So without you being an accredited investor, without you knowing anything about trading, without you knowing anything about cryptocurrency, you could now make money and earn cash flow in your sleep 24/7. That's never been done before for the average person. That's what he's developed for the world. And he's got a 25-year track record. So it's not, will it work? Does it work? Can it work? It works. It's been working 25 years. There's no question about that. So, Mr. Barsano, I'll introduce you in a few minutes, but I wanted Edward to show he's got a paper trading account that works just like live traders do. And he's going to show everybody a track record since March 25th of this year. And it's pretty incredible, the results he's gotten. So can you show the simplicity of what this thing has done for you, Edward, real quick?
In my sleep?
Yep.
Absolutely. Bear with me just a moment. I'll share my screen.
Awesome. There it is. It's coming up.
There we go. Oh, well, sorry. This happens can you see it?
Wow.
Yeah, this happens. This is happening every time we do we do a show. So this is automatic profits. So this is one account that I'm going to show you. This is I have a nonprofit from I spent a little bit over 32 years inside the matrix, which gives me the distinct superpower to tell you for sure from the inside that the deck is stacked against you.
Did you meet Keanu Reeves?
I did. As a matter of fact, the movie The Matrix was modeled after me. Just kidding. Just kidding. So this is actually a live account. Attila had said, and I do have. I'll switch screens here in a second.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
This is a live account. I started my nonprofit back in 2018, and this is Mr. Barsano. You'll hear him say, "This is the best savings account anybody could ever have." So instead of leaving the well-deserved money, and my nonprofit is called Gratitude Professor Foundation that loves on American heroes, particularly those in the dark that don't necessarily wear a uniform but are working to protect, as I did for 32 years, protect our and serve our country. So instead of leaving it in a savings account, we're earning zero or as much as 0.01%. I put it active, part of our reserves actively in the trader. And it literally, I started this on 9/11. 9/11 was a very sentimental day for me and this country. I did it symbolically, started it on that day. And in 2 months, 9/11, September, October, November, December, in 3 months, it's generated $1,700, $1,726 in profit in my sleep. That is going to equate to better than a 50 to 60% annual return. I started this account with $15,000. It's now fully invested. Well, I won't tell you all the details of all this because that'll be stealing Mr. Barsano's thunder, but it literally just makes money in your sleep. Now, let me see if I can change screens and you can see it. Oh, okay. Can you see that?
Yeah, I think so. Yep. $66 profit.
$66. Another one. Now, this is the simulation account, and I'll tell you why I did this. Look, it actually, it took a profit a couple mornings ago. So Bonk, Ondo, Pepe, and Whiff. I mentioned in the setup slide, the expectation at the beginning, I said you'll have an opportunity to see what I call the $1 billion report. And the $1 billion report literally highlights, it's another tool that you get included in the platform that shows you the highest trade, most volatile coins that are out there. And you don't have to do that research. It actually is, excuse me, sorry, it snuck up on me. It's actually done for you with a report that's released just after the first of every month. And it's there for you to do your own research. So this one is now 10 months old. Started March 25th. And on $100,000, it's generated $47,446.56 to date in automated profits. I didn't have to push any buttons. All I had to do was watch the screen. So when you talk about, if you know anything about crypto, or if you don't, that's fine. But the last 4-ish plus years, we've been in a bear market. Now, the market has been down 4 years ago to date, better than 90% down. In a 90% down market, just in the last 10 months, because of the volatility and the platform taking advantage of all the volatility in the market, nothing ever goes straight up, nothing ever goes straight down. So someone actually commented a couple of weeks ago that we should rename the trader to call it the wiggle trader, because every time the market wiggles, it takes a profit. So we'll have I'll ask Mr. Barsano a direct question, and that question is, how did you create a software platform that literally in a 90% plus down market is able to generate 50, 60, 80, 100% profit and cash flow? Not just profit, you're watching your 401k grow. You have access to this money because it resides in your Coinbase or Kraken account. So I'll reserve the answer when we turn the microphone over to Mr. Barsano, but just wanted to give you an example of literally automating your profit and touching on what Attila talked about, which is cash flow, not just growth on your money. And by the way, I talked about the failing fiat system. What they don't, they vaguely mention a manipulated figure called the CPI index, or the indicator on inflation, right? The fiat system is built purposely on an inflation-based model because that's the only way that a debt-based system works. But now, if you can count to $38 trillion, the country as a company, if it were a company, is not able to take in enough income to service the debt, which means it can't even pay for the interest on the debt that we owe. Somebody please explain to me how that works. If it's in your and my life, that means we're bankrupt. So don't put a lot of hope and faith in the fiat system where you have a declining dollar that simply erodes your purchasing power on a daily basis. And if let me ask you in the form of a question, where are you putting your money that's making 20% a year, which is the number that you have to beat in order to not lose money every year in this marketplace? So the only place I know, and it's proven itself out personally and professionally, as a profit generating machine for my family in the form of GoBabyTrade platform. So with that, let me stop sharing my screen. I'll turn it back over to you, Attila. That was, I think I used up most of my 2 minutes. So we'll give it back to you.
All right, very good. Thank you for sharing that. Those are some crazy numbers. Wow. I can't wait to see what those numbers will be when this market goes up and starts going on the bull run. Wow.
Those are going to be great days.
Ed Barsano, as always, thank you so much for taking your time, valuable time, and joining us and letting people on the Zoom be exposed to your brilliance. So the floor is yours if you want to give a little explanation.
The floor is mine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, as everyone knows, I come with a blank sheet. And I only and my whole presentation is based on all the mistakes those two guys just made. I'm going to comment on some of the stuff that they said. Number one, this is a two smart water bottle webinar. When I'm done with these 2 bottles, the webinar is over. All right.
Gotta have fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for inviting me, by the way. Hey, what happened to Simon Says?
Simon, yeah, he called. My apologies. He contacted us pretty late this afternoon and said he was feeling way under the weather and was not able to make it tonight.
We could have, man, even if you're not feeling good, we can make you feel good. Come on the webinar. We'll have a good time. Number one, for starters, I just want to start off with Attila. You said I was the top engineer at Microsoft. I was not the top engineer at Microsoft. I was at Microsoft. I was an engineer, and I was the head of a development group. Plus, I was the worldwide operations manager for the systems products like Windows NT and SQL and a number of other products. So yeah, in my mind, I was the top engineer, but we argued a lot. The place was a war zone. Anyone who worked there knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The next thing I wanted to say was this system runs 100% unattended. That means it's web-based. Web-based means that you don't have to download any software or anything. As soon as you sign up, it automatically starts trading in paper trade mode. Automatically. And then all you do is you decide when you want it to go live. You connect an API, a connection to your Coinbase or Kraken account. And then it looks at the amount of money you have and it starts trading live. So there's no other product like that. As a matter of fact, some people would say, that's impossible and things like that. I've heard over 25 years, I've heard a lot of every negative thing you could think of from the public, from people who don't have an auto trader, people who don't get it, so if it's not your field, your area of expertise, then you shouldn't be putting it down, is my opinion. I could say, well, it's impossible to change the transmission on a Range Rover. Why? Because I have no idea how to do it. That makes no sense. Some experts could do it. Now, as far as the other bots that are out there, there never were bots before. You never heard the term bots. before a couple of years ago. And when I was doing the stock market since 2001, I never had any competitors. There was no one else. There were no other fully robotic traders in existence. It simply didn't exist. And even TD Ameritrade called me and asked me to connect my robotic trader, my stock trader back in 2006, connect my stock trader to them so that their clients could use it, simply because I was the only one. And when I asked, how did you even hear about me? His answer was, you're real, which was so cool. You're real. I mean, think about that. Think of how big my head is when people say stuff like that. Because they're right. I am real. You know, I was not playing around. I said I'm going to conquer the market, and I went and did it. And I dedicated years. You know, anyone spends 25 years doing one thing. Think of it. 8 years in the Navy programming, another 2 years for the nuclear engineering for the U.S. government, and then another 8.5 years at Microsoft, working on all different projects, all different. I wrote so many different programs for so many different things for other people. Then, for the last 25 years, I've only worked on this one, to conquer this market. I don't have any distractions. I'm very narrow-minded. You know, I don't golf. I don't go fishing. I don't go camping. I'd go nuts if I was doing those things because I can't even imagine what I'd be doing if I was fishing. Can you imagine? Put a worm on a hook and then throw it in the water. I don't know. That's not my nature. Because I'll tell you, while that rod or that line is in the water, I'd be sitting there thinking about the program the whole time. I'd be thinking about what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, and what improvements I want to make. I mean, I couldn't wait to get out of there, so I could get back to program. So it's not my nature. To me, programming is a vacation. So that's a vacation to me. But if anyone has any negative stuff to say about robotic trading and in their belief that it can't be real, speak up here, put it in the Q&A so we can talk about it, so I can basically deprogram you, essentially. I mean, so I could actually help you, in this therapy state. Just get a couch, lay down on it, I'll be the therapist, and
Yep.
I'll deprogram you. If I can share my screen.
I'll give you share rights while I'm doing that. I wanted to give a
Thank
shout
you.
out to Marco that just joined us, and
Yep.
Valora. She and her husband Lejeune. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We saw them this morning and invited them, and as smart as we knew that they were, they showed up to listen. So thank you both, and we'll see you. We won't see you Thursday, but we'll see you next Monday. So let me give you shareability, Mr. Barsano, or as you've earned the affectionate name of Ed Fast Eddie Barsinister.
Or sinister.
And
I do feel evil. I feel like I'm stealing money out of the market. It almost feels criminal, to be honest, considering nobody else is doing it. It's amazing. I think so many people are just brainwashed because for starters, one of the things that I noticed over the last 25 years is people think other people are smarter than they are. And it's amazing because I don't personally know what that feels like, to feel like that, that everybody out there knows more than I do. And, I always said, why? How come Trump gets to live in Mar-a-Lago, and have all those acres and all that? Why? Is he smarter? Well, I honestly think he's a lot smarter than I am in a lot of areas, but he's not smarter than I am when it comes to robotic trading and programming because I live and breathe this. So what I wanted to do was share my screen.
you can now.
Okay, and let me go down to, I thought I shared my screen.
Yeah, you did. We can see happy birthday, Jeannie. And
Okay.
for those that just recently joined us, if you didn't hear at the beginning, we normally ask you to put your questions in the Q&A, but we have a very intimate, because of the holiday, a very intimate group. So once we're finished with the presentation, we're going to open up the mics to for you to ask your question. All you have to do is put your hand up, and we'll let you know when.
Okay. Right. So this is the deal. If you understand this simple concept, you'll realize the market is just free money for life. It's so simple that it eludes people. It eludes millions of people because they don't want to believe it's real, because they think it has to be more complicated than this. Okay? So, pretend like you don't know that in your mind it has to be more complicated, and just look at the reality of it. And I was teaching an AI class to 80 developers a couple years ago. Really smart people. And I saw a whiteboard, and of course I had to go to the whiteboard. Who can see a whiteboard and not go to it? So I went to the whiteboard and I drew a rudimentary picture of a bucket and a well. And it wasn't a trick question. I simply said, if the bucket has to go from the top to the bottom and get the water and go all the way back up and dump it out, in order to have water, it's got to go to the bottom and it's got to go to the top. It can't go halfway and go back up. The bucket will be empty. It has to go to the bottom and it has to go to the top. So I asked a simple question. How much water can the bucket pump in a lifetime? Okay? This isn't like some complicated mathematical question. Right away they started talking about, well, how big is the bucket and how much water is in a water basin. I said it's got ample water, more than enough water, and the bucket is amply big enough. It's just going to pump water forever. How much water can it pump? So then they started throwing out numbers. 1 million gallons, 1 billion gallons. And I was looking around the room and everybody was quite content with these answers. 1 million gallons, 1 billion gallons, 1 trillion gallons, whatever. They were throwing out big numbers. And I said, well, all right, now let's look at the crypto market, the reality of it. If the bucket doesn't have to go all the way down and it doesn't have to go all the way up, and all it's got to do is go up and down, like this: buy, sell, buy, sell. I didn't say go to the bottom. I didn't say go to the top. I didn't say, it has to buy at the lowest or sell at the highest. Just buy and sell anywhere. Doesn't matter where it goes. Hold these losers. Don't even worry about them, because you're going to pump money forever. As long as the coin stays in business, you're going to keep pumping money. And I'm going to pump just as much money on wiggles down here as I did when it was up here. It really doesn't matter where it goes. And if you get a big move in the market and the coin jumps up like that, it'll sell all those off also. So if having a lot of inventory is good. I always say a well-seasoned auto trader has lots of inventory. So I asked, how much money can it pump in a lifetime? How much money can it pump in a lifetime if it's just buying on a little 3% down and 3% up? Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Doesn't matter where the price goes. Just keep giving me money all day long, forever, for the rest of my life. How much money can that pump? And then the room kind of fell silent. And then one guy finally spoke up. And he said, there's no way that could be real. I love it. I love it. Why not? What? No, there's no reason it can't be real, because it is real. So that's the amazing thing. And so if you get this, once you understand the concept, you realize it's just free money for life. You're just gonna keep pumping money, and you don't care how much. Just keep giving me money. And coins, if you have a lot of inventory that's underwater, don't worry about that. You're building inventory. If you look at the whales, the wealthy, BlackRock, Donald Trump, um, you know, all these rich guys, Tom Brady, they're all loaded up on with a fortune in crypto. They didn't buy it all at the bottom. They bought it all up here while it was, and we've been on a downward trend for 4 years, a downtrend. And they've been loading up from the top to the bottom, just like the auto traders have been doing. We've been loading up now, but the difference is we've been selling off. But if it goes lower, we'll hold that loser that we bought up there. We'll hold the ones that are underwater. I always say a well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. And everything I say is always all logical. If you had a 7-Eleven or a Quick Mart and you only had one bag of potato chips on the shelf and a school bus full of kids pulls in, you're only going to sell one bag of potato chips. A well-seasoned auto trader, you should have 20 bags of chips on that shelf. So when that school bus pulls in, you sell 20 bags off. So you can't own enough crypto, especially now that the market's been on this downtrend for 4 years. These coins are down 90% plus and more already from where they were. I mean, I started trading like Alchemy Pay ACH at 12 cents, and it's now under a penny. And I made a fortune on that coin. You can't, if you look at my auto trader, let's just go over to my auto trader. Here's Alchemy Pay over here, the top one. The profits, the closed positions from the wiggles is 151,000. The inventory that's underwater, because the coin dropped all the way down, is down 91,000. And let me tell you, that's only in the last couple months. This market, all these coins dropped like 80% in the last 6 months. It's been, and really at a time when the market should have been going up, they've been going down. You got to ask yourself, why is that? And I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy going on. The whales have been loading up like crazy after that summit in the White House last February, January or February it was, when they said they're going to remove all regulations holding back the crypto market. So once they said that, then all the big boys really wanted to get in. But of course, they want everybody. That's the difference between a regular person and a whale and the big guys. A regular guy is happy to make money. The whales, they want to make all the money. So they want to drive everything into the ground, get everybody out. And I can attest to this because I see it. I hear the people. I see the emails that come in every day. I hear people saying things like, Ed, the coins have dropped so much, like L3. The coins have dropped so much, I should get out. I should stop it from, some people want to just sell everything at a loss, or some people want to just stop buying more. And I'm like, no, the biggest money you're going to make is what you're buying at the bottom. When the world is saying get out is when you should be loading up. Kind of like this. When a coin drops like this over here, and you're loading up at the bottom, boom, one jump, and you sell all that stuff off that you bought down there. All these wiggles here is just buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. See, not only are you making a bunch of money on all this anyways, on all these wiggles, but when a coin jumps like that, that's like 1 day. I mean, the L3 went up in 1 day. I mean, look at that jump. And then, and anything you had down here, you sold off profitably. So, and unfortunately, millions of people are taught to use a stop loss. We don't use a stop loss. In fact, my original trader that I created in 2001 had a stop loss in it, but it was called lock-in loss. So, when a stock went down and you wanted to lock in that loss, boom, that's what it was called. I didn't call it a stop loss because you're not stopping anything. You're just locking in a loss. You're selling all that inventory you bought at a higher price at a lower price. That's a lock-in loss if I ever heard one. And, so that's what this is how the market behaves. The crypto market is the greatest invention ever. I've never seen anything so cool like the crypto market. That the cryptos I've never seen anything move like this. As a matter of fact, after 21 years of just doing stocks, as soon as I turned the crypto trader on in April of 21, I said, oh my God. When I looked at those price moves, I couldn't believe it. I said, I'm done with stocks, man. Unreal. And people were asking me all the way back in 2017 and 18 to automate the crypto market, but I was just entrenched in the stock market. I wasn't looking. And then after I sold the original company off that had downloadable software, I sold the technology off. And I told them that when I'm going to compete with you, I'm going to write a web-based version of this. And web-based means I've got racks of servers in a cage in a co-location center. And racks mean you can hold 20 servers in each rack, and I got a whole bunch of those in a big cage. And all of your auto traders are running on those servers. So I don't have to worry about, is your computer on, or what is your internet? Do you have a slow internet, a slow connection, or a slow computer? I don't have to worry about any of that. With the original software, all those things were major concerns because people were running my software from all over the world. And a lot of them had junky internet. Some people were on dial-up modems. Can you imagine how slow that was? And then the program is very large, and it, like the AI, really right now it runs on 4 servers by itself. And I had the AI in my traders all the way back in 2001, and people would complain that they can't even their computer, they can't check email while the software was running. So, because that's how it just dragged their computer to its knees. But running on my servers is really cool because the software itself has one job: chase money. Don't look at indicators, don't worry about data feeds, don't worry about any of that stuff. And there's cleaning the data processes and all. There's so much involved behind the scenes you can't imagine. But the auto trader itself is just chasing money. Other programs are doing all that other dirty work, which is so cool because the auto trader itself doesn't have to think about anything. Anything it needs is just being fed to it. The data feed is being fed to it. The AI numbers is, when the software goes to close a position, let's just look here, for example. Like here, when a software is ready to buy something like added to declining position, it calls the AI and says, do you think the price is going to go lower? And if the AI doesn't think it's going to go lower, then the software goes ahead and just buys it. But you can see up here, see the AI at the end of that. Added to declining positions AI. That means the AI got involved in that trade. The AI said, hold on, it's going lower. And it's over 95% confident of that. And going lower only means it's going lower like within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Nobody can predict what a coin is going to do the next day. That's propaganda stuff. When you're ever talking to anybody, listen to the words they say. They'll say like, I believe, or if. Those are all gamble words. Those are words that really, it's like, well, you don't know that it's going to do that, so, but the software is, if the AI has seen the patterns, it's pattern recognition, it's seen the pattern a million times over the last 25 years. It could say, hey, I'm 98% sure when I don't know, stochastics, MACD, relative strength index, when 27 indicators are in this arrangement, or they're all bullish or whatever, the AI can say, hey, based on the pattern, this pattern, it's confident that within the next 20 to 30 minutes, the price is either going to go lower or higher. Did I say lower or higher? I meant lower or higher.
Yes.
But my hands were facing the wrong way. I said lower or higher. Anyways, so it's just if you scroll down and you can see all these buys and then you can see the sells, you can just scroll down and you can see it's just keep giving me money forever. Like Attila, one time when we were doing a presentation, and he said, you took $357,000 of profits. And I said, I didn't take that.
I was like, what?
And he's like, what? And I said, yeah, I didn't take that $357,000. He's like, what are you talking about? It shows it right there. And I said, I took this $54, $118, I mean, I took it all in little bits and it added up to that. See, too many people are worried about trying, they want to make too much all overnight, You can't gamble like that. You can't say, I want to make $1,000 a month, or I want to make, this percentage every day, That's up to the market. I mean, like today, let's look at today. If I look down here, today's the 28th. So that means the 27th, the 26th, it didn't do anything. The 27th, it didn't do anything. Today's the 28th, it didn't do anything because I don't see those dates here. These are down days. If it's going down, you're not selling anything profitably. I mean, that's reality. That's just reality. The thing is, you've got the market trapped down there for the rest of your life. I feel evil. I feel when a coin goes, I'm the opposite of Hillary Clinton, right? Hillary said, she made the comment at least one time, when they go low, we go high. I say when they go low, we go low. You want to go down here to the bottom? I'll go down there, but I'm buying more down here. Now what are you going to do? You can't raise the price without giving me free money. So what are you going to do? Go lower? All right, I'll go down there. I used to say it for years. I've been saying it. Hey, you want to run Microsoft out of business to take a few bucks from me? Go ahead. I dare you. I used to present to audiences, live audiences all over the country. Every week I was in front of a different live audience before COVID hit. I would fly out to another city on a Friday, spend the night in the seediest hotel. I'm so cheap. If I'm alone, I'll take the $30 a night one. I was driving on a highway one time and I saw a sign that said $25. Man, I'll take that for one night. I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna sit on that bed and I'm not gonna move in this place. But anyways, I'd spend the night and then the next morning I would present to that audience, and I didn't know who was going to be there. There could be 30 people, there could be 300. And I would ask a question to the audience. I would say, do you think Bank of America is going to go out of business? They were $10 a share. Everybody says no. I'm like, then trade the heck out of it. It's free money. As long as they stay in business, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's just free money. They're just going to keep pumping you money. I mean, I've got thousands of users that just trade silver for the last 20 years, following just in the stock market. SLV, that symbol, SLV on 2% moves up and down. And they're just cranking out money forever. It was going from $11 to $33, back down to $16, back up to $22. It was just moving all around, and all they were doing is taking all this free money. And then over the last few months, it started to rocket. Now I think it's at $70 a share. They're all in heaven, but it doesn't even matter where it goes. It doesn't have to go up there. I don't care the fact that it went to $70 a share doesn't mean anything to me, because I was going to make just as much profits per trade on the wiggles if it was sitting at 11. It really doesn't matter where the price goes. And that's another misconception that the public has. They think that it's important that coins or stocks go up. It's like they don't have to go up. It doesn't matter. And the lower they go, the more inventory you're actually buying. And buying inventory is not a bad thing. I mean, if you love Microsoft at 500, you got to love them at 30. You know, you got to love all these coins. I mean, if I loved ACH at 12 cents, I absolutely love them at 0.007 cents. Under a penny? Oh man, I'm just trading the heck out of it. It's just free money. I don't care where it goes. It doesn't matter where it goes. And then like, you know, like some of these coins like L3 went up 150% maybe a month ago, all in one day. You saw it on there where I think I had that one. You see these crazy moves. You know, if I say show me all time, this is all. I mean, look at these crazy moves these coins make. Even in 1 week, it's just crazy moves. Anything you had down here is long gone. You sold that profitably. You know, and anything you even got down here, you sold it off again. You know, people call and say, should I stop my trader from buying more of this coin? I'm like, no. The biggest money you're going to make is what you've been buying down there. And you're still selling it off on the wiggles anyways, but if it jumps up like that, anything you own below that price, you just sold off. You know,
Can I interrupt you for a second? So
sure.
It just dawned on me when Attila and I were having a conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Cole this morning. They're not really familiar with the crypto market at all. And we have suggested we've now become mutual friends, and we wanted them to attend tonight. This would be the perfect opportunity for them to dip their toe in the water. But it just dawned on me that this is the perfect storm. People that don't know crypto and don't know anything about trading, this is one of the best entry points for them, is to understand this technology, the platform, and what you have blessed everybody with, because they literally, and Attila actually made the comment that he said, listen, you really don't know. What we teach people when we're talking about this platform is you really don't need to know anything about the crypto market. You don't need to know anything about the trading market, nothing. So if you're walking in and at least understanding your bucket and well concept, you realize that as long as there's volatility in the market and the cryptos that you're trading are in business, you literally are making free money. Yes, it's good to know all the ins and outs and whys, but when you have the perfect storm of the most volatile asset on planet Earth mixed with technology that simply takes advantage of every move, whether it's the middle of the night or not, it's the perfect storm to be able to understand that you're in a space. This is probably the best way to walk into this space and understand it, because you've mitigated, in what you created, you've mitigated all the risk. And as long as they properly secure their Kraken or Coinbase account, then they're opening a savings account that is been returning in a 90% down market over that 4-year period of time, 5x your money. Now, I challenge anybody to look at any other savings account or any other risk mitigated opportunity where you don't have to take any risk at all, where you can have anywhere near those kinds of returns. What if it wasn't over 100%? What if it was 50%? Or what if it was 30%? Then knowing nothing about crypto right now is your biggest advantage. And I'm speaking specifically to the Coles and anybody else that has been wondering about this market, because in the last 3, 4, 5 years, somebody mentions crypto and everybody, first thing comes to mind is a 4-letter word called scam, right? But if you look at what's happening in the marketplace,
I was thinking of another 4-letter word, but go ahead.
Profit. That's
love,
got too many.
Maybe love.
That love, hope.
For me, it would be love.
if you look at where we are in the market today, the fact that we're going to go from a failing fiat system to a failing debt-based fiat system to a new frontier. Uh, Here's a little
Sure.
let it out of the bag. We are writing a book that's going to be out in January called The Digital Money Revolution, which is
Well,
teaching everybody the opportunity to understand I think Attila said earlier, he called it, we're in the prehistoric times of the newest technology. And his famous quote is, you can't live 10 lifetimes and have the opportunity that you have right now, mixed with comments like Mr. Barsano, and you can't own enough crypto today. It is going to make
right.
more million and billionaires than any other time in history. But let's take away all
Yeah,
the
but we don't
fancy.
want to talk you into this, you know. I
Yeah,
just feel like you don't the less you know, in my observation, the less people know, the better off they are.
because
Because
they
the
don't
people
overthink
who
it.
think they know stuff, because the auto trader just does everything opposite of what you're taught.
Right.
And that's what throws people off. They want to come in and they, like, we don't use a stop loss. I mean, if you go to any trading class out there, they're gonna say, if a coin drops 3% or something, sell it, close your position at a loss. Let your winners run and cut your losers and things like that. It's phrases like that that really they sound good in theory, but they don't work. They simply don't work. You can't do that. I mean, one guy had, on Facebook, he just kept popping up in my Facebook, some bot out there. And he sounded good when he was talking, but then he actually said, "Well, let me show you how it works." And he brought up Notepad and he said, "If I bought this here, and then I bought it here and here and here, and I wait for it to go back up here." And I'm like, "Holy Toledo, if you do that, you're going to lose." I can't even believe that he just said all that. The first thing I did immediately was I said, "Block this guy. I don't want to see any more of his garbage." Because if you did what he's describing, you're going to get hammered. I mean, it's unbelievable, and unfortunately, people out there who don't know stuff would listen to that trash that he was spewing. I couldn't even believe it. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, wow, I thought he sounded, when he was talking before, he sounded intelligent, but then all of a sudden I looked at his strategy and I realized it's like you're just going to get hammered. Why do I know so much? Not because I drink smart water. um, but the reason is because when I released the software back in 2001, I didn't know anything about the market. And I automated a market that I didn't even know anything about. But in that system, it had 10 screens of things you could do. 10 screens of, I call it now, ways to blow yourself up. But at the time, I was giving everybody everything they asked for. Hey, you're a trader, and I assume you know what you wanted, and I let everybody know you could do whatever you want with this trader. If you have a strategy, automate it. So and I was letting people do whatever they wanted, and I watched people destroy themselves. And over the years I learned, oh, I could see what doesn't work, what works, and what doesn't work. It's like, wow, anytime they do that, they just get hammered. So let's get that out of the trader. Don't even allow them to do that. That's why I don't even have stop losses in here at all. You can't do a stop loss. You're just going to be selling your crypto off at a loss. So many, and the more they push a coin down, look at this one, GRT, down 6% today. What are you going to do? Sell all your inventory at a loss? You'll never make any money that way, selling at a loss, because it's going to bounce. It's going to keep bouncing at the bottom. Profit wise, even though the coin is all the way down here, profit wise, I'm all the way up here. I don't care where it goes. And there's so much, it's like people are taught, unfortunately, and this may be some of you on here, we won't mention your name. I don't know. I don't know who you are. But some people are taught to stare at their account value. And I'm like, quit looking at the account value. The account value is nothing more than you have inventory, and the price of the inventory, the price of the coin went down in value. So when the price of the coin goes down, your that's your inventory, then your account value goes down. And some people say, "Well, I'm losing because the account value went down." And I'm like one guy today, he was saying his auto trader's down 35%. But the price of the coins he's down, or he should be down 80%. But because the software is doing smart money management and risk management, he's only down 35%. Whereas if you were just a buy and holder, you'd be down 80% right now. And and the software is prepping you. This is the beauty. It's prepping you for the kill. It's just like I said, Donald Trump and BlackRock and all those guys, they loaded up on so much crypto at higher prices than where we're at because they know it's going to go there. It's going to go back there. But now in their case, they're actually counting on it going back to that price, to the top. I'm not counting on it doing that. I'm counting on the coin staying in business because buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. That's it. It's just going to keep doing this. I found a dollar bill. I found a dollar. I was walking out of a Sprouts store the other day and I found a dollar bill. It just blew right in front of me on the street. And and it looked like it looked bad. It was folded up and it was just looked like it was stepped on like 100 times. So I picked it up and I threw it in my wallet. I still have it in my wallet. And you know, I went to Sprouts today, and when I walked out of the store, I started looking on the ground for more money. I don't know why. But that was a dollar bill, and my auto trader just cranks out all this free money. And I don't even look at it. I don't even hardly look at the trader. And whatever it takes, it takes. I don't even worry about it. Things are, you have big up days where you're just selling a lot of inventory off. You know, you don't worry about it. If you're running a 7-Eleven, if it's raining out, I assume you're gonna get less customers on that day, and I don't know. And some days you're gonna get a lot of customers, and I don't worry about it. They can't mess with me. The whole market, I'm impervious to any of the gameplay going on in the market, and there is a lot of gameplay. You don't even realize that you're just being jerked with. If I look at the level 2 screen, I put this L2 here. You guys don't have this in your trader, but I do. It's just too much data to send out to the World Wide Web. But look at that one, 124 shares. You didn't, I don't know if you saw it. Look down here. This is the best bid and the best ask. Below that line is the best bid and above it is the best ask. These are orders, buy and sell orders, people floating orders out there. Look at this one here, 29 shares. It's like, get real. That's fake baloney. And the thing is, it's there to mess with people so that you think this price is real. And it's like, you're not, if I'm buying 10,000 shares, that 29 shares doesn't mean anything. I'm going to end up paying a lot more than that. And, if I add up, the software adds up from the bottom how many shares you plan on buying. And so it adds up how many shares so that we know that we know there's enough shares down there for how much you're going to pay. And if you're selling, same thing down here. If I'm selling so many shares, it has to go down to these prices. You don't even need to know this stuff, but as a developer, I need to know it. I don't know anyone else that interrogates the level 2 screen the way we do. Also, there's no orders on here from us. We hide everything. We hide all of our orders. So nobody can play games with us. if you're putting orders out here in public view, I mean, look at this 1,500 shares at the bottom here, or this 891 shares. If I want to buy 10,000 shares, well, that number means nothing. I'm going to actually be paying this much for the next one. That's where the 10,000 shares is going to come from. And if I'm selling 10,000 shares, well, good luck, because that number is going to keep, where do I get 10,000 shares if I'm selling? Because there's only 891 shares there, 1490 there, 1495, 1528. How far do I have to go down? Probably all the way down to here. This is what I'm actually going to get on the sell. 394, not 390, almost 397. Again, a lot of gameplay out there. When you put orders in public view, professionals are just jerking with you, playing, the gameplay is off the map. Like Edward said, the game is so skewed against you, and you don't even know it. The public doesn't even know it. I mean, I asked somebody a simple question one time. This is a lot of years ago. But I said, if your mother, all right, here you go. This is crazy. But I said, if your mother has like 100,000, a lot of Intel stock, and that, and this is Friday, and that on Sunday, Time Magazine is going to come out with an article that says Intel's going down, you know,
Going to
what
crash.
is it? Chips are going down. All the chip stocks are going to get hammered, and that's going to happen on Friday. Are you going to tell your mother? That's going to happen on Sunday, but today, it's Friday. Are you going to tell your mother? He goes, no, that would be illegal. Right. I don't know how many people wouldn't just say, Mom, sell that Intel stock right now. I don't know, but in reality, there's a lot of gameplay because a lot of people would have known that is coming out, and I guarantee you, a lot of people that would have dumped their shares of Intel. We all know that happens all the time, where people dump all their shares the day just before the earnings come out because they knew bad earnings were coming, stuff like that.
Yep.
But
Manipulation.
yeah. Yeah, the manipulation's off the map. I mean, the public doesn't have a prayer, but this is just automated. It's just so simple. You know what? I feel like I don't even feel like I'm walking through the software for people because if you're interested in the software, then I'm so used to this software, I don't even hardly talk about it. I mean,
Well,
you
why
know
don't we
what I
do?
mean?
Why don't we give some glimpse into one of the bigger questions or most often asked questions is how much money do I need to get started with this auto trader, right? And you've got a special report which shows the top 50 performing traders, all automated, right?
Yeah, it's on the
Right,
website.
right.
For starters, GoBabyTrade.com/the Staple Crew. If you type that in, you get $1,000 off the website price. See that at the top?
Yep, and I'll post.
You,
Actually, we've got a couple of links to post because we are here supporting the Staple Crew. I know we've got a few folks there, but we also have some folks that have come to know us through financial intelligence. So with that, I'm going to post the Staple Crew discount. They're just different recorded links, both the same discount. But if you are part of the Staple Crew and you found out about this masterclass through the Staple Crew, then use their link. If you found out about it through us, such as the Coles, then you can use our link.
okay. And then on the website you have trade accounts. We'll go into that, the trade counts, and then the top traders, which is right here. Or no, that was a sample. Okay, let me just click it. Top traders. Open link in new tab. All right. So this shows the top 50 traders, and you can see how much money they were trading with. This is in 1 year. I mean, this one started with $163, took $465 in profits. I mean, the reality is that's 284%. Who wouldn't want that? Warren Buffett would go crazy if he saw this software and what he could get. You know, this guy started with 5,000, took $8,251 in profits. That's 162% return. It's all about how much profits are you taking. And I'm not looking at which way is the coin going. Don't even worry about that because you just keep taking profits like this. Don't worry about it. A coin would have to go out of business to hurt you, to take your money. This one started with $215, took $335 in profits. I mean, this one started with 13,000, took 20,000 in profits, which is 150% return. And, as far as, this one started with 114,000 and took 93,700, which is an 82% return. So when you say, how much money do I need to start? You just need to sign up and get the show on the road. I always say that even if you just went in paper trade mode and didn't even trade live, it's worth its weight in gold for what you will learn watching it trade. It'll change your life forever. I mean, I walk this planet on air simply because I've conquered the market, and I can honestly say that. And the thing is, I've done something everyone said can't be done, and we do it. And I've got thousands of clients using the software. The only negative thing you will ever see on the internet are from people who don't own an auto trader. That's it. It's people who are just saying there's no way that could be real. If that and everything, every negative thing, I've heard it through the years. If that was real, there'd be no stock market. If that was real, everybody would already have it. I said, well, do you have it? No. Okay, well then you're wrong. Because everybody doesn't have it. One guy said, recently I got an email that he said, if it's so great, how come everybody's not using it? I said, I don't know. How come everybody's not drinking smart water? Everybody's different, and really the biggest reason everyone's not using this is because they don't know about it. Because I'm a programmer, not a marketer. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to advertise or any of that, Because I really like the way we sell this auto trader and the way I sell it, the way I introduce it to the public, and it's because it's coming from people who already own an auto trader, and that way they're sharing something that they actually use, which is why that marketing company that Attila told you about back around 2012, why I turned them off even though they sold $16 million worth of licenses, because a lot of them were there just to sell it. They weren't there and they weren't using it, and I didn't like that. And I don't want people blowing smoke. I like the idea that hey, you're using it, you're making money, it works, and those are the people I like sharing it.
That's why you like us so much.
That's right. You use the software, and you talk about it and you really use it and we know it works and that's cool. I have a lot of families who use it. Mother, father, 2 kids, they got 4 auto traders using the auto trader. I know one family that has cousins and all that in it that, they got 19 people in their family all using the auto traders.
Good lucky them.
I know, and I think it's so cool. And they're talking to each other and all, and so, I literally don't get any complaints or anything. The software's, the biggest concern is, when the coins are going down, people's DNA isn't used to handling that. And when they keep pushing these coins lower, it's like your DNA you're not used to that. It's like my account's going lower. I'm like, yeah, but look at all the profits you're taking off the table. This is adding up, and it's going to keep adding up forever, and they can't stop you. That's why I feel like it almost seems illegal what I'm doing. It's just that, because it's just free money. I don't know what to say. I'm not even gambling. I'm running a 7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar. I'm putting product on the shelf and selling it at a higher price, but I'm doing it intelligently. I'm not using up all the money. I got an email just today from someone that said, how do I make the auto trader buy more with each trade? I said, it's already using money management and risk management, and it's covering you all the way to the bottom if the price goes down there. If you put all your money in up here and the price drops and you don't have any money to buy any more down here, then you're just a buy and holder. Picture the people who bought ACH 4 years ago in 2021 at 12 cents, and now it's under a penny. If they went all in up here and the coin price is all the way down here, they can't make money on that coin until it goes all the way back up to 12 cents. I don't even know what they're doing. I mean, how do you live like that? I mean, I would be miserable. I can't even fathom a life where I bought something all the way up there and now the prices are all the way down here. And they're just, I walked into a UPS store once, and there was only one guy there. I was mailing something, and as I was walking up to him, I said, "So, how's your crypto doing?" I always do that, throw stuff like that out, just to see how the people will respond. 99% of the time, the people will say, "What's a crypto?" I never heard of it. And some people say, I got to read more. I'm like, what are you going to read? I can't even imagine that. So, but he didn't. He said, oh man, my father lost everything in the crypto market. I said, really? How did that happen? What did he do? And he told me, he said, well, he bought Bitcoin at 60,000 and the price went down to 30,000. And then he sold it at a loss. He just took a 50% loss on his Bitcoin. If he would have just held it, where did it go? To 120. But he didn't. But even so, with us, we didn't care that it was when it went down, because while it was going down, it was wiggling, and we were taking profits. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. It went all the way down to 30,000, and it actually went down to 24,000. Right? You can check one of those charts, and you can see a couple years ago, it went all the way down to 24,000, and that's when it went all the way back up to 120. So we were buying and selling the whole time, all the way down to 24,000, and they continued buying and selling all the way up. It was just free money. It was a joke. I call the whole market an insult to humanity. But for some reason, the people don't see it, and that's the amazing thing. And this is a kind of a therapy session for me, being able to talk about it, being able to get it off my chest, because it's hard when you know that it's free money, but everybody out there is just brainwashed, and they think that it's some kind of gambling or something, and I'm like, it's a painful thing. I went to the bank yesterday, and Bank of America, and to deposit some checks that were going to expire. And they were in my wallet for a half a year, and they were going to expire in 2 days. So, but anyways, I asked the teller, I said, so when are you do realize you guys are offering cryptos now, right? Some Bitcoin ETFs, I think, and maybe Ethereum ETFs. And he goes, no, I didn't know that. I said, you didn't know it. And I looked behind me and I said, you see that Merrill Lynch right there? It says you guys are using Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch for your investment department. I said, why don't you walk over there and give them and talk to them? Because there's an article, you can read it, it's in the press. Bank of America is now allowing their investment division, they specifically say Merrill Lynch, to offer cryptos to their clients. So the banks are coming on board. Now the tellers may be in the blind, their heads are in the cloud, but it's happening. Banks are coming on board, and once you start getting the banks on board, and more and more people are going to start coming in, and that's why 95% of the crypto that is out there is all owned by the rich, and only 5% is held by Joe Public. So the large institutions are loading up like crazy. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, and then you got all your rich people out there, your multimillionaires just loading up like crazy. Because if you think it's the end of the crypto world, you're severely wrong. We are at the infant stage of the crypto market. And this is like buying Gillette for a penny a share in the 40s, man. Loading up. That's why Warren Buffett is so rich. He lived for 100 years. I don't know.
Yeah, I bragged a
He was
bunch
able to
about.
get these things so cheap. What's that?
I bragged a bunch about the $1 billion report. Would you talk a little bit about
Sure.
that?
And it's right in your menu, the highest trade counts report. And I got it right here. And that's on the website too. You don't even have to sign up to see it. Yeah, Edward calls this the $1 billion report. This is like, and I always thought about it. If you're running a 7-Eleven, you're not going to talk to 1,000 different vendors. You're going to deal with a distributor. Okay? And if you're talking to a distributor, when you first set up your 7-Eleven, he's going to bring up a report like this. After you have your refrigerator and your parking and all your shelves and all that, now you're ready to start bringing in product. Well, you're not going to start calling the vape company, and all the different, monster drinks and candy bars. You're going to deal with the distributor. Okay? He's going to give you a report like this that says, these are the biggest moving items that you want in your store. Because I want products that move, like 1,485 profitable trades, because we never sell at a loss. So a closed trade is a profitable trade. And, if you look at the bottom of the report, this is where you got your junk. Like your Lysol. Nobody's buying Lysol, right?
Band-Aids,
Or
iodine.
Band-Aids, stuff that's slow moving stuff. I don't want to fill up my store with that kind of stuff. I want to fill my store up with, monster drinks, vapes, potato chips, candy bars, donuts, coffee. Coffee's a big seller, by the way. But so I've created this report. It comes out every month, the beginning of each month. So this is November. On December 1st, this covered all the way up to the end of November, and now January 1st we'll add December here. And it shows you every symbol that you can trade at Kraken and Coinbase, and how many trades they did over the last year, over the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. Like if I add up the last 3 months of sales, September, October, November, not sales, closed trades, that adds up to this 256. If I go back and add up 6 months, it'll add up to the 645. So you can see each month how many trades that you're getting. If I'm trading lock in this number one coin, look at how many trades it gets each month. I feel pretty confident that I'm gonna get somewhere in there, that range. My monthly average, 123 trades. I feel confident that I'm gonna get that many trades. and so you can go down the list and you can see what the biggest movers are. You can see also, like, what does this company do? You can click on it, Popcat, just click on it. It takes you to their website. And you can see what their business is and all that. You don't want to have to go to the internet and search for them. We provide it. We just give it to you. You just click on the link. What is MOG? Go to it. It'll take you to their website. Then the other, and you can see here, these are meme coins. Some people don't like meme coins. Some people just want utilities. So you go down, you can see this number 3 coin is SPA. It's a utility coin. 1,343 trades in the last year. It's number 3 on the list. And the next utility coin is PRCL. I don't know what it is, but if I click on it, well, that link didn't work, so it doesn't work. Sometimes some of these links used to work and then they stopped working. I got to fix those. If you see anywhere it's missing a link, that's, I have to go out and fix that stuff. But for the most of them, most of them have it. What they are. Here, ASM is really a mover. I mean, that coin really popped a few weeks ago. I mean, it went up 50% in one day. I love it. Because you have all that inventory, right, that you were buying on the way down, and when it jumps 50% up, you sell it all off. A whole bunch of inventory at one time. I mean, it's beautiful. When a coin pops. And they all do it. But you can't predict it. You can't know that in advance when that's going to happen. So some people, the way people are taught to trade over the years is they sit behind 6 monitors and they wait for everything to look like it's all going up or all going down, and then they jump in. The thing is, if you jump in while everything's going up, you don't know if it's going to keep going up, and then you only own one lot, even if you buy it. If I go back to my trader, I've got 23 lots of ACH. That means I bought that coin 23 times. If I scroll down here, this is the inventory. That's one lot that it bought. Here's another one. Here's another one. I've got 23 of those. I've got 22 lots of Doge, 36 lots of GRT. And I always say a well-seasoned auto trader has a buttload of inventory. And what I really say is you can't own enough inventory. Anybody that's not signed up right now, I'm not a salesman, but let me tell you, every day that you're not trading is a day your auto trader is not doing its job. It's not building inventory. It's the example I gave you about the potato chips. If you only have one bag of potato chips and a school bus full of kids pulls in, you're only going to sell one bag. It's illogical to have empty shelves in stores or only have one item. Can you imagine if they only had one can of oysters on the shelf? When I go to buy oysters, I buy 10 cans at once. If you only have one, all right, I'll take that one. And if there's only one, I'm going to look at it to make sure it wasn't kicked around the store. Why isn't anybody picking this one can of oysters? Is it broken or what? What's going on? But the auto trader takes time to build inventory. So every day that you're not trading, number one, your auto trader's not building inventory. And number two, you're not taking any profits. So every day that you're not trading, now tomorrow, there will be an up day. Tomorrow will pop. Some of these coins might jump 30% in one day. If it does, you have no inventory. So that every day that you're not trading, you got 2 things not happening. One, you're not building inventory. And number 2, you're not selling anything for profit while you're sleeping. When I first turned on the auto traders and the crypto trader in April of 21, I used to have my laptop sitting next to my bed. And the first thing in the morning, I would lift up the lid on my laptop to see how much I made while I was sleeping. It was just so cool. After doing stocks for 21 years, that was a real treat. to have your auto trader running in the middle of the night. It's like, wow, this is cool, man. I love it. I mean, I love the crypto market. I think it's so great. And we're in at the infant stages here. I
Yep.
mean, you can't get in it. I mean, this is so great. I mean, all these coins, these coins that are out there are so great. They're building it's like building the railroads or throwing electricity wires all over the country. Once you did that stuff, then commerce and everything came following it to use the infrastructure. And what's happening is these coins are infrastructure coins. Like Alchemy Pay, Attila, how many years was I? For the last 4 years, I was telling everybody Alchemy Pay, ACH, is like Apple Pay worldwide, man.
Yeah, a
And
long
then
time. Yeah,
I was saying it from the beginning. I'm like, as soon as I saw Alchemy Pay, I'm like, oh my God, and that coin's 12 cents, give it to me. This is
yep.
gold. And then just a couple months ago, they merged with Apple Pay, which is so cool because, I like it when I'm right, when stuff like that happens.
We
It's
know
like, I
that.
told you, what have I been telling you
Yep.
for 4 years? They
Hey,
are so huge. They are so great, and they're going for pennies. They should be going for $20 a share. They're sitting here going for under a
Hey,
penny. And
Ed.
the only reason they're under a penny is because the big boys are loading up at the bottom.
Hey, Ed. Since we got such an intimate crowd tonight, do you think we could move to see if anybody's got any questions? Because
Sure.
as you know, the questions are always, if you haven't covered something yet, they always get asked in the Q&A. So I think it would be appropriate if we did that.
I'm totally open. I love the
Okay.
Q&A session.
So let me ask you guys. I wanted to do a little dream session and do some math so people could see the power not only in the platform but the power in compounding your money, or as Attila, as you always say, so succinctly, giving your money a job and employing your money.
Yeah.
How about if I play with some numbers so that people see what the possibility is, and
Want to
then
show your
and then
calculator?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Okay.
first let me
And
first
this
find it.
won't take this won't take long, folks. So just hang in there, maybe
Yep.
3, 4 minutes at the most, and then we'll get to some Q&A.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I'm done with
people.
one bottle. We still have one more
All
bottle
right.
to do.
Cool.
So folks always ask, geez, how much money? I don't have $100,000 or $200,000, or
Oh
what does
man,
it
you don't
take to
need
make
that.
money in this machine? Well, here's a simple calculator, and I'll put this link into, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and copy that link so that everybody can do some dreaming on their own. Bear with me just 1 second.
I think it's
Uh,
so cool that the internet has all these cool features.
Yep, it's amazing. But this was where it really hit home for me. I gave a presentation and somebody asked me, "Okay, give me some examples of what kind of money I can make." So let me set the stage. We talked about we're not financial advisors, but what I forgot to say at the beginning is that we're dealing in fact. The fact of the matter is, in a 90% down market, Mr. Barsano has been using his original trader, and over a 4-year period, which it was 4 years on the 19th of this month. He started with $200,000 and he took almost $1 million in profit, 5x your money in a 90% down market. I don't know how that's possible until
While the
now,
market was going down, that's the
which,
cool part.
which is a good stage to set. So let's say you purchase the trader at the discount, and you look at a 9-year horizon, right? 9 years is going to pass, and those of you that join us that are good friends of Myron's as well, he always says, you can take my advice and you can do what or not. The time is going to pass whether you do it or not. So the 9 years is going to pass whether you do it or not. Let's just say that we don't go crazy with fact, and not the 100%, but let's just say it makes 50% annually. Okay. And you're not adding that, you never put another dime in other than the 5,000. I'm going to do that example. And then I'm going to show you the power of compounding past that. So if we look at that, I've got to put a zero in there. $5,000 over a 9-year period. Granted, you're reinvesting in 2 more cycles of the trader because it's a 3-year license. But $5,000 over 9 years at half of what it's been performing at, with adding no additional money a month, your $5,000 savings account turns into $187,000 plus. Now, let's get a little bit more crazy. Let's say you added $500 more a month, because why let it sit in the bank at 0.00%, only to give them all of your money for them to lend it back to you at 30 to 40% a year. So
just add $100 a month. I know a lot of people that just add $100 a month.
Okay, we add $100 a month. For that same period of time, you've just now added $100,000 on an additional investment over time of an additional $10,800. $5,000 turning into $285,000 in your sleep. Is that better than your retirement, worse than your retirement, better than your savings account, or worse than your savings account? Now, let me show you, since I showed you my trader that I started with $15,000 just 3 months ago, right? Let's do this. I'm not going to add any more money. If I never added anything else, $15,000 investment of my nonprofit reserves, so I'm employing my money, it would be as if over that 9-year period, we received over $500,000 in donations.
But you know what's really cool about this? That money is 100% accessible to you every step of the way over the whole 9 years. It's not like it's in some CD where you don't know what's going on. You wait until you get a statement in the mail, that kind of stuff. You don't have access to it. Like when I went to the bank a couple days ago, he started to tell me about CDs and stuff, and it's like, man, do you realize I'm the creator of GoBabyTrade? You're talking to me, telling me about.
You mean you didn't rip open your shirt and say, "Do you know who I am? See this big on my chest?"
I know. It was like he didn't even know that. It's like, dude, you are not going to convince me into no 3% bond or a CD or something. You're dreaming.
So
what trash.
Yeah, let me show you fact in real life. I cut fact in half because it's been performing over time, not all at once, not linear, but over time, over that 4-year period, it's 5 extra money, right? So that's better than the 100%, by the way. So, but if we just changed it back to 100%, and then I'll give a couple more examples, and then we'll get to the Q&A, right? If it was 100%, look what happened. All I did was change it from 50 to 100% on a $15,000 investment over 9 years at an average return of 100%, which when this market takes off.
Which is really, what is that, 8.5% a month?
8.5% a month. 15,000 turns into 7.6 million. So let's go back to not being crazy, even though it's fact, based on performance. What if it only did 30%? And for example, and this is actually what I'm doing in real life in our nonprofit, is I'm taking reserves every time we get donations. I'm taking a portion of that and putting it into the crypto trader. So let's just say it's an extra $500 a month. At 30%, 15,000 at 30%, which it does in its sleep, in your sleep, times 3, possibly 4, that turns into $307,000. I don't know where anybody can get any performance anywhere near this with accessibility, no penalty for early withdrawal, and access to your money with cash flow. What if it only made you an extra $500 a month in building your account? That's life-changing.
It's actually $376,000. They subtracted out what your contribution was.
That's correct.
That's really what most people would do. I want to look at my ending balance,
right?
And it would be 376. Yeah.
Correct.
Cool.
Correct. So I put the.
Well, you know what? I'm sold.
You're sold.
Well, anybody?
That's great. I also want to mention that we financial intelligence for you and Attila and myself are partnered with as support mechanisms with GoBabyTrade, with the Staple Crew, with Financial Intelligence to provide 6-star white glove service and teaching you all the things that you want to know about how to be successful. Like I said, we've got a book coming out that is a very in-depth view, a step-by-step of how you can navigate success in the new digital money revolution. And happy to provide that. We'll be making an announcement. Anybody that attends the webinar or registers for the webinar will get a discount on an autographed copy of that when it comes out, and it will be digital as well. But I also wanted to provide you with 3 resources if you have any questions. We're going to open it up to Q&A, but I know that time is moving pretty quickly. So if your questions are not answered, or if tomorrow morning you go, oh my gosh, I should have asked this question, you can you can send it to if it's a technical question, let me qualify that. Support at GoBabyTrade. If it's just a generalized question that has to do with a follow-on of Q&A that from this evening, then you can send it to support at financialintelligenceforyou.com. And then the third link is one that you can go right into based on, and I'll put the discount links in there again, to go to frequently asked questions within the trading platform. Chances are, and it's AI driven. So if you type in, how do I connect my API or my Coinbase to the trader, or what if I do whatever, chances are it's in there and it's been asked and answered. And if not, then please reach out to us. I mean, we're here. It's not just this isn't a sales presentation per se. It's an educational, you have to know about this. It's to your benefit. And if you choose to take advantage of the discount and buy the trader, great. If you choose not to take advantage of it, great. We hope that you leave here having learned more than what you came in with. So with that, I'm going to post the 2 discount links again. If you're here because of the Staple Crew, please, by all means, use their link. Both provide you with the exact same discount. It takes $1,000 off the 3-year license, which, by the way, comes to $3.19 per day, or a third of a cup, because the price at Starbucks keeps going up, right? You buy it for a third of the amount of a third of a cup of coffee. You can automate and take advantage of making money in your sleep in the digital money revolution. Crypto is here to stay. If you don't believe so, do not be left behind. Do your research. Come to financialintelligenceforyou.com. We just recently launched our platform. We are adding resources every day to teach you how to navigate so that you are not left in the dark. So with that, so you provide a link for the calculator. I did, but it was a larger link. Bear with me. Wasn't
that it? Calculator.net?
Yep. Calculator.net, but it was I sent you a longer version of. Here's the shorter version. There you go. That goes out to, oops, wait a minute. That did not go to everybody. As a matter of fact, some of the stuff that I just recently sent out did not go to everybody. There you go. So let me do some housekeeping.
A lot of the stuff you just sent out didn't go to everybody.
Yeah, it didn't, because believe it or not, my internet went down for a millisecond. Fortunately, it didn't blow everybody off. There you go. So this is to everybody again. It's the support at GoBabyTrade, support at Financial Intelligence for You, and the hyperlink goes to frequently asked questions within the GoBabyTrade platform.
If they send email to GoBabyTrade, we answer everything every day, and we don't leave you hanging.
No, this is not try and sell you something and then not support it. We're here to ask questions. We invite you to, you took your valuable time tonight. If you'll get a copy of the recording of this, so you can review it at your leisure. But you're also welcome to use the same registration link and come join us we do a webinar on Wednesdays at 2:00. Just send us an email for that link and register for that one. And then this Monday night is every other week. So the next every other Monday at 7 o'clock. So that would be, excuse me, on the let's see, it's 30. Is it the
Whatever
12th?
2 weeks from today is.
Yep, to the 12th. Yep. So you're welcome to join us then as well. If there's a few people left. If you are interested in asking a question of us this evening, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you and allow you to ask the question live.
Yeah, LJ and Valora, we covered a lot of stuff. I know this is very new to you. There's no stupid questions. If you have whatever from A to Z, whatever is confusing to you on this particular. Now, granted, this is the tip of the iceberg. Remember, I told you this morning that this is just one of hundreds of ways you can make money in this space, but it's one of the best because literally you can make money in your sleep. It's all automated.
Without
So
risk.
that's why we focus so much on this tool because we haven't seen anything that really tops this. I mean, it's amazing. I've known about it since 2012. That was the stock version. I told the story of how I came across. So feel free if you want to just come out and ask the question or you want to type it in, be my guest.
Yep, you can raise your hand if you have questions. If not, you have our numbers. Now you can get in touch with us through email or
Right.
or text or phone. If you do want
Okay,
to ask a question, just raise your hand.
I think somebody's hand is up. Hold on a second. I see one hand up under attendees. LJ does have a question. It's just you got to show everybody. It's only the three of us. So I don't know if you could get her on the screen.
Yes, when I hit allow to talk, it'll pop up. LJ, we'll do that right now, and I apologize. I'm having some technical issues on my side, so I didn't see your hand up. I'm going to click allow you to talk. There she is. Okay. Hi, LJ.
Hi. So my question would be, I did see like on the spreadsheet where you guys had Coinbase and Kraken. If you only have Coinbase and you don't, do you need both? And
No.
then you don't?
No,
No,
it's
you
either
only
or.
need one.
It's either or, unless you want to have, if you want to buy two licenses, then obviously you could connect one to Coinbase and one to Kraken. But if you're just trading one exchange or your money's at one or the other, it's just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just so you have a visual snapshot while I say this, let me bring up my trader, and then I'm going to bring up that report that you're referring to, the $1 billion report. And just to clarify,
Yeah, there's some what Edward is getting at is there are some coins that are available on Coinbase that, for example, are not available on Kraken and vice versa. He'll
Right.
show you that now.
Yeah, this
Oh,
can
okay.
you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So available exchanges, for example, this lock-in is only available on Kraken, Swift and SPA, which you saw I trade as well, are only available on Coinbase. But then you can also get down the list, and when it lists both Coinbase and Kraken, that particular symbol or token or coin is available on both of those platforms. And there are some people that really like some of the coins that are now available on both that do end up buying multiple licenses, but it's certainly not mandatory. And most, as a matter of fact, everything that I trade is available on Coinbase, and we can certainly share with you. And you saw just a flashpoint. As a matter of fact, I'll bring it up in this particular trader. You can see. These are the ones that I have in this account, Spawn, Swift, which are very highly traded. ZEC. Here's what's really cool. Another really cool feature about the trader that I was not aware of until I started trading ZEC, right? ZEC is $537.26. But guess what? If you choose it, it buys fractions of a share and trades them. And you can see,
nice.
You can see down the bottom, ZEC. Current price, right? As a matter of fact, today it took a profit. and it only had 0.15837 of a share, but it's still $3 wasn't in my bank account yesterday or the day before. And you can see it simply just trades the heck out of it, right? You get
And you can see it doesn't have to make much each day to add up.
right, right. And this is a brand new account, brand new, right? And then of course, the others, and you can see as Ed was talking about, the more inventory that it gets to collect. We haven't said it this presentation, but Ed coined a phrase: "Down is good." If you buy the trader, let it go down, let it collect inventory, and down is good makes no sense in any other universe other than what you're seeing now, because when it dips a little bit, 3%, it buys more. It collects inventory, collects inventory, collects inventory. Now, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, maybe a week ago, I had 9 ZEC positions, but it's trading so violently over the last couple of days. It's like up 15%, up 20%, down 3%, up 7%. It's sold them all off, which it's like,
I'm going to interrupt you because I want to get back to LJ's original question.
Yep.
The reason we find that most people end up going with Coinbase, LJ, is because you could trade through your USD, US dollar account, or USDC, which is a stable coin. On Kraken, it's only US dollar. So there are inherent benefits to always staying in crypto. So most people that do Coinbase, they're putting their money in USDC, which is a stable coin, which is crypto, and their profits are being paid back to them in USDC. So it's another conversation for later, but there are major benefits for staying in crypto once you begin in crypto.
The benefit I see for leaving, another benefit for putting it in USDC is the software reserves money so that it can trade at lower prices. That reserve money is getting paid about 4% interest.
Oh yeah.
From Coinbase.
Yep.
Yeah, Coinbase pays you 4%. Well, remember this morning I mentioned Kraken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you
that's
don't have
different.
to put it in a CD.
Right. And to make 500 times more than you would in a CD.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
My next question would be, how do you go about selecting which coins or to add to your inventory?
Okay, let me answer that because I got to give Edward's mouth a rest. He's exhausted. Okay. So there's a couple things you could do. When you buy the trader, the wonderful thing that Ed Barsano did is he put a button there in light gray that said default cryptos. And you click on that and it automatically fills in 3 or 4 of the top. Is it 3 or 4, Ed?
3.
3 of the top trading cryptos that are very, very volatile. You don't even have to pick them. Now, if you don't want to use that, then you would just confer with Edward and I, and we would go through a few and make a few suggestions on what we trade and what's getting really good results for us. It's that simple, literally.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the great question. I am going to LJ, I love you, but I have to demote you, which will kick you off the screen. So my apologies.
Nice photo, by the way.
Yes, great photo.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Dale and we've got Valora. Valora said, thank you very much for the information. I've learned a lot and looking forward to further connecting. I love the system. Thank you immensely. Well, we can't thank you enough, Valora. And Lejeune for joining us. As a matter of fact, you just popped up. If you want to ask a question or make a comment, you can just unmute.
By the way, Ed Barsano, Valora, Edward and I met Valora and LJ and Cole. I believe that's
no Lejeune.
Lejeune at an event we go to on Monday mornings, and we were started talking about the digital money revolution and crypto, and we told them we were going to be on tonight, so they're all here, which is
Yes,
cool.
Oh,
that's awesome.
But your mind's
So-
like a parachute; it only works while it's open, right, Valora?
Yes, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just
Oh,
fine.
okay, wonderful. Well, again, thank you all so very much. It's really been an answer to prayer because that's something I've been wanting to learn more about, get more involved in. And so I think this is a great system to do that in.
Yes.
Even though some terms may not have been familiar, but it was enough to help me to understand the dynamics of, what you all are doing and, the process. So thank you, Mr. Barsano, for your
cool.
expertise and your willingness to help others. And so this is certainly your genius, and I'm glad to be a part of that, and looking forward to getting the system.
Well,
Well, you
Awesome,
know,
Valora.
a
Just
lot
let me.
of people, I hear it a lot that people that sign up, they say, "Man, I've been looking for a system like this, for 20 years." And
Right.
then they find us. Yeah, I'm such a terrible marketer, I'm not out there.
But
well,
Valora, remember,
fortunately you got two good-looking marketers that love to tell the story and support you and Valora Lejeune. We really appreciate the opportunity to connect personally with you. You won't be able to shake Attila and I, so whatever questions you have, as Attila said, we've only scratched the surface, but be a sponge and learn everything you can, and we'll certainly be a resource for both of you to prosper. And we're so glad that it's a benefit.
let me stress
Okay.
one thing to Valora, where she said that there are some terms and all that weren't that familiar with her. That's normal. That's to be expected. But remember what I
Attila does that all the time. He always throws out, all these crazy terms. I'm the only one that ever questions them on them.
You're
I call
killing
them
me,
out.
Barsano. You're killing me.
What is DeFi? What the heck is DeFi?
Decentralized finance. Decentralized finance.
Yeah.
Right. But it definitely gives me the opportunity to learn. So I'm always open to learning and expanding, my reach. So
But
it's good.
it is good. What I was going to say was, if you remember from the beginning when I was telling the story of how I met Ed Barsano in
Hmm.
2012, remember at
Hmm.
the end I said, without anybody being an accredited investor, without
Hmm.
anybody knowing anything about trading,
Hmm.
without anybody knowing anything about crypto, you hardly have to know anything about computers. You could now literally make money in your sleep with this. So that's
Right.
why it's such a great way to get started. If you have this as a foundational tool to
Hmm.
help you make money while you're learning, it's kind of like earn while you learn. It's a match
Right.
made in heaven.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's
And
great.
we're here as a resource for you. So
Yeah,
we're
call
so
us
glad.
anytime.
Yeah,
Anytime.
yeah. We're so glad that you invested some of your very valuable time with us this evening. And I'm so glad that you guys were able to
Yeah.
join.
Yeah, me
Thank
too.
you.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, we'll see you guys soon. You have an
Yes,
amazing
we
night.
will. Happy
Yes,
Thank
New
and
you.
Year.
we'll
Hmm.
see you after the new year. Actually, yeah, it might
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
next Monday, right?
Next
So,
Monday.
so see you next year.
Any of you catch that Bears game?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
my
I stayed up
brother
way too
told
What
late.
a
me. I
game.
heard about it. I didn't see it.
That was a crazy game.
Yeah. So
Anyways,
with that, how about
I'm
some?
from Chicago,
Yeah, well,
so I
sorry
have
about that.
a lot of disappointed family members.
I'll bet.
Yeah. So with that, gentlemen, how about some final remarks, and we'll let everybody go back to their evening.
Well, I always end it with this. I always say, look, you could work hard for your money, but you could only put so much elbow grease into what you do to generate a revenue and money. And once you earn it, your money's unemployed. So my thing is give your money a job. And there's no simpler, easier, more logical way, in my opinion, based on experience with this, to give your money a job and to put your money to work. Because Warren Buffett said it best. If you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. So you got to give your money a job and help your money make money on itself while you're resting, sleeping, working, whatever. And there's no better way than this trader, in my experience. So that's my
Agreed.
final words.
Agreed.
You know, I'm gonna work till I die anyways, because I think it's a lot of fun. I can't imagine what I would do if I wasn't doing this. I think
Yeah.
it's the ultimate. You know, I retired from Microsoft in '95, and you can't imagine how boring the next 5 years were. You know, so when the market crashed in 2000, I was reborn. I'm like, thank you. You know, now you gave me a mission.
Yep.
Especially when people were saying it can't be done, it can't be done, it can't be done. I'm like, that just feeds that just feeds my mission.
Well,
When
like you
people
said,
say it can't
the
be
only
done.
people that don't believe in it are those that don't own it and use it.
Yep.
So my
Amen.
final word is go Navy.
All right.
Thank you so much, everybody. Attila, always good to see you. Ed, thank you so much for changing my life personally and for allowing us to share the message and bless other people. That's what we're all about. So, Valora, Dale, LJ, thank you so much for your valuable time. Join us again. Send us a note. Hugs and kisses, and Happy New Year.
Yep. Have a great one,
Hey, that's
everybody.
a nice close.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Cheers. Good night.
Good night.